Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular council meeting for November 22nd. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I'd like to wish Councillor Lambert a great big congratulations on the birth of his new child. We're so excited to see him.
Thank you. He's pretty great.
It is. We'll see how you're feeling next week.
He looks a little tired tonight.
Is there any additions to the agenda?
Madam Mayor, administration would like to add to the closed session 18.3, broadband internet communications.
And I would like to add to 13.6, strategic plan. Anyone else want to add anything? Okay, could I have somebody move the agenda then, please? Deputy Mayor, all in favor? Carried. It's like nobody likes me down here or something. All by myself.
Yeah. Should ride your squirrel.
Under approval of minutes, admin has 2 minor corrections to begin with.
Mayor Dubois, speak up. My apologies, Madam Mayor.
Pardon me? Sorry, I jumped right to that.
That's okay. Under the closed session item, Mr. Daniel Presto, his name is missing a W on the end.
Page 5.
Okay. Thank you.
And on page 13, resolution 398-21. We don't have beach officers, we have peace officers.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other corrections? Could I have someone move to accept, please? Councillor Dwyer, all in favor? Carried.
Aye.
So my report, Mackenzie Frontier Tourism held its AGM with Laura Wardley being appointed as chair, Cameron Cardinal as the vice chair, not the Vic chair. Memberships will remain at $150 a year, $225 or $300 for 3 years. Airport beautification, Laura Wardley was appointed to that board. Did you get her email, Ms. Beaton?
No, I did not.
Okay, so we'll need to add her to the airport task force email list.
Thank you.
On November 11th, so we had the wreath laying. I want to thank Director Schmidt, Communications Bill Snark, and the rest of the committee for putting together this fantastic virtual ceremony. It was very well received, and we had quite a few citizens at the cenotaph this year for the wreath laying, so thank you to the families and to the children who participated there. November 11th, our lawyer Gwendolyn Stewart-Palmer came up to give a council orientation, of which you were all there for. November 17th, AUMA, I attended a breakout session entitled Building Indigenous Relations in Your Community with Mayor Tyler Gandam of Wetaskiwin and Chief Randy Erminskin of the Erminskin Cree Nation. and they were discussing how they build a healthy relationship and how they keep that relationship going. And I would just like to reaffirm that I believe that the town is headed in the right direction with our partners and friends, the Denegal. AMA launched a new brand called Municipalities Strength in Numbers, and they had a big celebration with a concert from 5440. Brent, you remember them? I didn't even know who they were until I Googled it and heard their song Ocean Pearl. But anyways, they played a set or so. We attended the trade show where we had a interesting conversation with the general manager, Brian Bettis. That's why you got a 72 document to read. Anyways, he is willing to travel to our community to discuss with us broadband. Then Councillor Jessamine and I had dinner with our new Western Superintendent, Blake Ward of the RCMP. He's a very nice man. He hasn't had a chance to be up here and visit us, but he hopes to be, well, he's been in this area, but not to visit with the council. November 18th, an AUMA again. I attended an excellent breakout session, and I think a couple other councillors and Jerry were there. This session was hosted by Doug Griffith of 13 Ways, and they explored ways for municipalities to approach strategic planning. And then the town of Westlock shared their strategic planning and showed the benefits to their council, their administration, and their community. Then we attended the resolution sessions. November 18th, we met with K Division. We discussed the RPAC team. This is the team between the RCMP and the psychiatric nurses that will go out on mental health calls. We were assured that High Level would be receiving 2 teams, one team to arrive sometime in 2022. The exact timeline is unknown, but we'll keep you apprised of the situation. Then we met with Minister Panda once again to discuss the reasons why we need a multi-purpose center in High Level. And we also, and there's the reasons why. November 18th, we had a Northwest SAR meeting. We established an ad hoc committee to undertake the 22-23 financials. Northwest SAR also will revise the State of the Region report because we don't want to send out a 600-page document to all our stakeholders. Instead, administration will make a one-pager highlighting the key findings of our State of the Region report and then mail it to government departments and stakeholders. As well, the State of the Union report is on our webpage. Northwest SAR will be hosting 2 online events for councils on Thursday, January 27th, so you might want to add that to your calendars. One of these is in the afternoon and one is in the evening, and the meetings will highlight the great work that Northwest SAR, as well as our partners ABMI and ATA have been accomplishing over the past 4 or 5 years. Northwest SAR voted to table the draft amending agreement to the town, and we will finalize it by an email vote. Northwest SAR was asked to provide data to Parks Canada for their hydrology flow model decisions, and we said yes, as long as they credit Northwest SAR with providing data. And we also are contributing data to the ARU, which is the Autonomous Recording Unit study that Aaron Bain's doing regarding wolf relationships to habitat and disturbance in comparison to camera models. Once again, we ask that Northwest SAR be credited as a data contributor. And finally, the last day of AUMA, we listened to the mayor, we listened to Municipal Affairs, and I attended the first dialogue and left during the second dialogue of the ministers. That's my report. Anybody have any questions? Seeing none, could I have someone accept my report?
I'll move the mayor's report.
Thank you, Councillor Welke. All in favor? Carried.
Favor.
So, under council committee reports, Deputy Mayor.
On November 10th, I participated in an assessment review board hearing for the county in Fort McMillan. On the 11th and 12th, attended the same council orientation as the mayor has already indicated. Also, as the mayor indicated, attended the AUMA conference in person, November 17th, 18th, 19th. Also meeting with K Division and Mr. Panda. In addition to the 2 breakout sessions, the mayor indicated also attended a third, setting the table for success, how to start your council's term off right. Also attended the Northwest SAR meeting on the 18th. And today completed the first of 3 modules to renew my subdivision appeal board training certificate.
So how was setting the table?
Basically stuff that you would hear in Muni 101 and those kinds of things, positive attitude, don't keep things professional, nothing's personal, those kinds of things. So.
Okay. Councillor Anderson.
November 11th and 12th, also attended the councilor orientation meetings. That's all I have to report.
What was one new thing you learned?
To get along.
We're on camera. Hopefully we've always done that.
I thought it was to not make your mayor's blood boil.
Don't ask me that question.
Councillor Dwyer.
So November 11th, I attended the wreath laying ceremony as well at the Cenotaph. In addition, like everyone else, also attended the orientation for councillors, and that was the 11th and the 12th. November 15th and 16th, myself and Councillor Welke attended Muni 101 in Edmonton. So basically the general orientation for new councillors. And also November 17th and 19th attended AUMA, and also met with K Division and Minister Panda.
Okay, thank you. So was your Muni 101 the same as what Gwendolyn?
The topics were the same, but they kind of did it more broad, whereas Gwendolyn did everything kind of specific to high level, so they kind of showed the bigger picture, I found.
Okay. Councillor Jessamine.
November the 10th, I attended the monthly High-Level Policing Society meeting. November the 11th and 12th, we went to the councillor orientation, which went very well, and I enjoyed the session. Hearing it from Gwendolyn, she's very passionate about what she was teaching, and she's very knowledgeable, so I really enjoyed it. And then AUMA from the 17th to the 19th in the city.
Thank you. Councillor Lambert.
Yeah, just as everyone else did, I attended the council orientation, which learned quite a bit there. It was a good eye-opener, a lot of insight there. And then also on November 11th, we also attended the wreath laying, which was good to see some community members out there, as we weren't able to really do that last year, so it was good. We were supposed to have a meeting on, I believe, the Thursday as well with the chamber, but I missed that since we were flown out. And then I also missed the rest of the AUMA because of being in Grand Prairie as well. So I don't have anything else to report there besides on the chamber. Midnight Madness will be on November 26th, I believe. So I should get filled in more on that next week. But other than that, I have nothing else to report.
November 26th, you said? Okay.
Sorry, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, that is it.
All right, thank you, Councillor Welke.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On November 10th, I attended my first Mackenzie Frontier Tourism meeting, which was pretty exciting. And we discussed many of the current and planned initiatives around tourism in the region. And of special note is there's a lot of partnering going on with Mighty Peace and piggybacking on some of their initiatives and plans. So that's a really good collaboration that I feel is happening up here. And also to note, the recent tourism survey that was revealed, it revealed a large number of entrepreneurs in our area that are interested in the tourism business. And so I just really wanted to encourage the public to keep an eye on MackenzieFrontier.com, become members. There's a lot, you know, that the sky's the limit for tourism up here. And I think that it's just an industry that can really take off, and the interest, you know, in terms of economic development is there in our region. So really want to encourage everyone to keep an eye on, you know, on Mackenzie Frontier a little more. On November 11th and 12th, I also attended the in-house training with our legal counsel, Gwendolyn, and that was fantastic. I went to the EOEP Munis 101, as Councillor Dwyer had stated. We attended a day and a half of that, and it was yeah, like she had said, very similar, but quite different from our in-house training. And I'd encourage everyone to take it. There was a lot of new, but also past councillors who have taken it before. There were mayors there. There was even admin staff there taking it. So I found it very interesting, and we got to sit with and speak with the council and mayor of Olds. So that was nice, because I have kind of a connection with Olds, being down in Sundre here quite a bit. And lastly, that actually, sorry, and then committee of the whole, which we all attended, but that's all I have to report.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Just on another note, has everybody received contact with their committees?
No.
I have.
Josh, you haven't?
Sorry, Madam Mayor. IMPC reached out today just about a meeting I think coming up next week. They have a new board, so we will. That's the only one that's reached out to me so far, besides the chamber. So there was one other one. I just can't remember which one it is. I'll have to look into it and get back to you.
Yeah, just look into your council package, see which ones you're on, and if they haven't reached out to you, please let Miss Beaton know.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the only two that have reached out to me so far is Mackenzie Waste Management and the Library Board.
Some of them won't reach out to you, like, what can I use for an example? Which one hasn't, what do you have?
Transportation Society.
Okay, so I just got an email from them about their AGM being Thursday at the Golden Ring Society.
7 o'clock Thursday.
So, yeah, maybe go there.
Okay.
And let them know, and let them know that you're on that committee.
Okay.
So if there's any others, just please let us know. Okay, thank you. Could I have someone move the councillor reports? Deputy Mayor, all in favor? Carried. So the action list. Where the heck is it? Is there anything in the action list that council? I have a couple questions.
Most of them are on the agenda.
Pardon me?
Most of them are on tonight's agenda.
the whole action list?
No, a good portion of them.
Okay, well, I just wanted to know what is happening with the licensed childcare. It's still open? Are we still involved, or?
Policy Director Rolf, too.
Yeah, Mayor, I'd be coming to the council with the December 13th meeting.
Okay,
I have some meetings coming up this week, and we're just working with the town with license before and after school program with the busing, what that might look like.
okay,
And looking into possibly having a committee formed that would be representative from the corporations and the interested people to really push forward the funding that's coming through. So we're just setting that all up before the council to report on that and some decisions.
okay, perfect. I just thought maybe I dropped the ball because the minister's office reached out to me and asked if we'd want a meeting with her, and I said, well, we'd spent 2 days with her, so maybe not. So I'm glad to hear that it's still rolling along.
Yes, we're still working on things in the background. So.
Okay, thanks. And what was my other one? No. Okay, the rest is on. Okay, thank you. Could I have someone move the council, or the council action list?
I'll move as presented.
Councillor Anderson, all in favor? Carried.
In favor.
Upcoming events, does anybody have any questions on them? I really appreciate this list. Keeps me on my toes to know what I should be going to. No questions? Could I please, oh, you had a question?
Madam Mayor, yeah, so the Christmas staff party, will there be invites going in? Or if I missed?
I believe the social committee is still working on that, but invitations will go out to everyone.
It may be virtual.
We'll send you a steak.
Actually, we
You
made
just cook it at your house.
put a monitor in the table and watch it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think there was something that went out, an email or
There
something.
might have been a hold, but they.
Yeah. Okay, could I have someone accept it, please?
I'll make it.
Councillor Jessamine, all in favor? Carried.
Favor.
The capital project list? Question? Yes.
For Director Straub, I see ACAP came through. We've got our plow truck and sander.
Yes, Madam Mayor, the ACAP funding was awarded. We're at the pre-tender stage now. As soon as the tender is submitted and awarded, ACAP will forward the town funds. The bad news is, and there's always bad news, is I've reached out to chassis suppliers for the new truck, and they're saying maybe 2023. So we've already started asking chassis providers, a variety of them, to look and see what they have in stock, to see if there's something somewhere that would match to improve the delivery, but late 2022, 2023 is what they're saying for most of the chassis providers.
Will they lock into the price now?
No. I think what will end up happening is we will tender and hopefully have a buffer and work that out with ACAP. We've gone back from about delays and holding funding. ACAP had awarded 86 equipment project types throughout Canada, so not only that, it's heavy equipment and other stuff, it's also created a bit of a demand on possible other things too. So we are in the process of working with them to make sure that if we can't hold it, are they going to be able to hold our funding until we can get a chassis? So
Thank you.
frustrating.
Good news though.
They don't normally hold the funding? It must be like this for everybody, isn't it?
That's my thoughts, Madam Mayor. We're looking for confirmation in writing.
They have held funding on other projects, the overlay and extensions and things like that, so I would hope that they set based on previous precedent.
So the ACAP did say if we could get it tendered, they would award the funds right away to us. But if we can't guarantee the tender price or the chassis price, that's an issue. So it's hard to tender a project where you're purchasing a chassis and then a year later getting the chassis and having to put all the equipment on it. So we're waiting to hear back. Those are questions we're asking. And I understand there's a demand throughout Canada for those products.
Thank you.
Is there only one place in Canada to get them?
So Madam Mayor, we've contacted Peterbilt, Western Star, Kentworth, main distributors, and for instance, Peterbilt said they normally have allocated, say, 15 chassis of a certain class in line to be built. They have 2 at one dealer. So we have feelers out to most of the dealers that I know of, and they're looking to see if there's a chassis that fits that somewhere that hasn't been.
Well, there was a few trucks in the ditch that were ruined. Maybe there's chassis available.
Yes. According to ACAP, though, the chassis and the truck we build has to last the next 20 years, no less.
How old is the one that we're replacing?
Just over 20, we're in the 21th year, so they will not allow you to fund until it hits the 20-year mark. So it's very important
What truck did we get out there then?
we had budgeted last year for a runway truck, pickup truck, and again, due to supply, that project was canceled to 2023.
No, it was a snowplow truck.
Loader and a sweeper.
Yeah, that's quite a while ago, yes. It's been a long time since we had any main.
This one was like 15 years ago.
That could
16.
be the snow blower or the sweeper. But the plow truck and sander are 21 years old.
All right, thank you. Is there any other questions? None? Could I have someone move the project report, please?
I'll move the project report.
Councillor Dwyer, thank you. All right, under new business, the RFD for the movie film industry.
Madam Mayor, that was a handout that everybody should have. It's marked as 13-1.
Madam Mayor, I don't believe I have the handout, or was it emailed?
We can get that emailed to you. I guess both Councillors Lambert and Councillor Wilkie.
Thank you.
I have yours sitting right here.
Madam
If
Mayor.
that helps you.
Can you hold it a little closer to the owl?
Yeah. Sandra's trying to email it right now. Madam Mayor, what I can do while she's doing that is I can just walk through this. This is a fairly straightforward task force terms of reference. The introduction is just from the provincial website in how this industry has grown significantly over the last several years. The scope of the task force, what we're recommending is the task force will review and make recommendations on how we adhere to any regulations or incentives that are available for the film industry working in high level. It will have input on, and actually it would probably recommend to council the creation of a policy for the town, and then also any administrative directives on how that policy would be implemented. The membership we're suggesting is 5 voting members, 2 members of council, which have already been appointed, 2 members from the public at large, with preferably one of which has an understanding of the film industry, and then 1 specific member from business or industry.
So, Andrew was wanting to sit on there from Ready. Is that an industry or business, or is there a Ready partner, or what?
Public at large. Andrew would fit as public at large.
Doesn't our public at large have to be a high-level resident?
Oh, good point. Sorry, I didn't realize he wasn't.
No, Andrew lives in La Crete.
I guess it's up to council, but they technically.
That's what I'm saying, like, he would be a wealth of knowledge, like he's been involved in there, and I'm just, well, this terms of reference negate him from sitting on there. Yes?
He could be the rep from business or industry. He is the manager for Ready, which the town is a voting member.
Whose real goal is to recruit industry to our area.
Mhm.
But this is sort of an overarching,
Okay, just trying to confirm, so I don't wanna,
create a task force and then not be able to appoint to it.
yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, the appointments would be made, the rest of it is fairly straightforward, it's pretty boilerplate for the rest of your task forces. The appointment are made per policy 236-11. The term is once the task force dissolves, once council accepts its recommendations, which would be adopt policy put forward by the committee. Governance is, again, from the same as every other task force. They appoint their own chairperson. It meets on an as-needed basis. And staff support is also provided, both administrative, technical, and secretarial for the task force. Ms. Beaton, who drafted this for us, also included a number of resources for council's reference that are on the very last page. We'll get this to you electronically, and that way you can just click those links.
Okay.
So that is there for council's discussion.
Is there any discussion on this? I know, seeing Jan is not here, could we table this to the next council meeting so that he has a chance to look at it?
Madam Mayor, I do have it in front of me now.
Okay,
Madam Mayor, this is the first time council has seen this, so actually tabling it to your next regular meeting is not a bad idea.
okay. Is that good with council? Could someone make the motion then, please?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Councillor Dwyer moves to table to the next meeting. If you have questions or concerns, please bring them up then. All in favor?
In favor.
Okay, the Alberta Forest Products letter.
Madam Mayor, that was put on at your request. Unfortunately, administration has not been able to, is not able to supply any additional information other than what was supplied by the town of Slave Lake, which is in your package.
Okay. So what is council's wish for that? If we can receive it for information. I haven't had a chance to talk, I was gonna talk to some of the industry, but I haven't had a chance to talk. I hate to send out a letter if it's going to affect small businesses and residents so that big corporation can pay less. I don't know. Yes.
I think this is the other way around. It's residents are going to save a minimal amount, but industry is going to pick up the lion's share.
Yeah, that's what the letter says, but in researching elsewhere and discussing with other people, that's not what they are saying. That's why I was looking for more information.
Perhaps we could table this to the next meeting or committee.
Well, we can't, because I think the letter was, I think, personally, I would say let's receive it for information, then it's off the table, and we can research further what it's going to do to residents, businesses, because this is, I haven't talked to our big business about it.
Yeah, we have a number of very large electrical consumers here, or energy consumers, and this could have a significant effect on them.
But I just can't see 130%.
That would cripple.
I don't know, it's your decision, council.
It looks like the hearings aren't going to be until likely January, so I think there's some time.
Madam Mayor, would you like to table to committee of the whole? And we'll see if we can bring back for the 5th of December.
Council, do you want to make that motion?
I can make that motion to table this topic to the next committee of the whole meeting.
Which is,
December 5th. December,
would be the middle of December, and I thought Charles said we weren't, oh,
December 7th.
we don't call that a meeting. Is that December 7th is our committee of whole? That would be our first council meeting, wouldn't it?
No, in December, you only have a committee of the whole and a regular council meeting. You abbreviate your months because there's.
Yeah, I know that, but our council meeting would be the 7th. And our cow would be like the,
No, that's not what's said in the calendar.
According to this, the
Your
cow
cow
is
is
the
first.
6th and the meeting's the 13th.
6th and 13th, sorry.
The first meeting's the second, isn't it?
Yes, committee of the whole is the first Monday, and then the meeting is the second. December.
So Madam Mayor, sorry.
go ahead, Councillor Welke.
I was just going to add the December 6th to my tabling motion for this topic to the December 6th Committee of the Whole.
All right. Council, all in favor? Carried.
Favor.
Thank you. So the review of the remuneration. Did I say that right?
Remuneration. Madam Mayor, this is a rising report, but if there's any questions of council, Mr. Parsons would be pleased to answer them.
Is there any questions? Who would be pleased to answer them?
Charles.
Oh. Any questions from council?
I just think it's bad form for the council to be voting on its own remuneration. This is an issue that should be prior to the election.
Well, unfortunately, that's not how it works. So who's making the motion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Just on that comment, we did learn in Munis 101 that remuneration is a topic that council does not have to declare any conflict of interest in passing motions. So I will make the motion for alternative one that council adopt the amended policy 230-10, council remuneration. ...
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay. The revitalization grant program.
Madam Mayor, Ms. Gavin is online and she will answer questions on either of the next two topics.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Yes, so these are Rise and Report. This is a Rise and Report from the Committee of Whole. I put together the recommended alternative as I described last time. The only thing I changed was I just presented the financial information a little bit differently to maybe help in decision making. You know, it shows in the table under financial that application V21-002 is technically only eligible for funds, remaining funds from 2020. So that would be the $19,081. However, we do have a clause in the policy where council can add more funds to the policy. So the recommended alternative is to allocate $919 from 2021 funds to round it up to 20,000 for this application. I'll take any questions.
So this was a Rise and Report from Committee of Whole. And how come our funds weren't used in 2021?
In 2021?
Yeah.
we only had one application this year, plus this one that came in.
Okay.
So we allocate 40,000 every year, and then anything that's remaining from the previous year rolls on into the next year and is available for the secondary district as well as the primary.
But this is remaining from 2020, isn't it?
Yes, because the Boston Pizza restaurant is located in the secondary district, so they are not eligible for 2021 funds.
Okay. So council, what's your decision?
I'll make the, that council approves the $19,081 that was allocated for the 2020. So I'll make the motion for option 2.
Any discussion?
I think that setting a precedence of just allocating the flat amount of $20,000, we should just set the precedence that secondary areas get what's left of 2020.
Okay. Anyone else have anything to say? Okay, I'll call the question then. Those in favor of Councillor Dwyer's motion?
In favor.
Those opposed to it? Carried. We're being tough tonight. All right, strategic transportation infrastructure for 13.6. Or did I skip the school division? Sorry. The RFD for the permit. Sorry, Haley.
Okay, this is also a rising report from the Committee of Whole meeting for administration to issue a permanent development permit for this Fort Vermilion School Division's bus stop signage. So they have currently a temporary permit that will expire on the 30th. We're happy as administration for them to continue operating the urban busing under the temporary permit, and then we will work on them with them starting tomorrow on any relocation of any of the bus stops. So we have flagged the one on 106th, so bus stop number 6, just to be moved to the north side of the alley, and then potentially bus stop number 7, Chonkalay Drive, if they would like to see that elsewhere. Perhaps they have some other kids signing up, and they'd like that relocated. We can work with them on that and issue a permanent permit by the 30th of November for them to continue. This does not include the bus stop shelters. That is a separate permit altogether, and the school division does plan to submit a permit for the shelters in the spring.
Okay, is there any questions on this? Seeing none, does someone want to make the motion to authorize?
I'll make the motion, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Lambert, all in favor? Opposed?
In favor.
1. What?
Oh, were you for or against?
I was for.
Okay.
A little slower. No. Move on.
Don't worry, I'm the one.
Quit playing Candy Crush. All right, carried. So the next RFD is the Strategic Transportation Infrastructure Program.
Madam Mayor, this was also a rising report, but Mr. Straub has more information if council has any questions.
So I have one question. Maybe it's, I didn't know, where is it? No, I don't have a question, sorry.
Madam
Any
Mayor,
questions on this? Yes,
would you like me to give a brief overview to the public?
sure.
So the RFD.
Do you want to come up here so we can hear you?
Not really.
Then you can't give a report.
asked me if I had an option. Apparently not. So Madam Mayor, Council, Public, this project, or the funding request we put forward to you is started in 2019. This addresses 92nd Street, and 92nd Street runs from Highway 58 up 92nd all the way to the mill access, which ties into 114th Avenue. The second part of the project runs from the 92nd Street intersection at the mill and all the way out to Highway 35. These two roads see a lot of very heavy traffic. The study looked at the condition of the roadway, how fast it was depleting. We did geotechnical to look at the subgrade below it. We looked at repair costs as well as trying to prevent future damage. So before you, this project was done, or the study was done in spring of 2020. We then asked the consultant to look at a detailed design. Specifically, one of the issues that arose was 114th Avenue, so from Highway 35 to the mill is a very high traffic road, and with the crossing itself, we've optioned to widen it slightly to create a better access to that area. 114th also carries past and goes out into the county and services the rural areas back there. So with that, we had intended to apply for STIP funding under the I guess the Resource Road Grant last year, or the local municipal initiative, because we did get funding the year before for our Gateway project. It was brought back. Part of the funding process when I contacted Alberta Infrastructure is we initially wished to put in a single application to cover both roads because they're both primary accesses for our industrial area as well as our mill area. We were advised that because they are two separately named streets or roads that they have to go in as two separate projects. So what we've done is we've split the package into two separate streets, and we are applying as two separate projects with the hope to get both. Now, part of the funding model is we have an engineering consultant right now writing the application for us, and it's based on scoring. So the minimum amount we would get if approved would be 50%. We are hoping by the use of industry and some of those options we put within our application, we're hoping to raise the scoring up slightly to get better funding. One of the things that typically drives it is private-public partnerships, but we didn't have an opportunity to address those at the application period. So we are supporting some that information within the application as being a large ratepayers in the area and that they already contribute a lot to the community. So we're hoping that will help our application. So one thing you will note is the package I had sent to the committee as a whole. There is a difference value between, so the 92nd Street to 114th Avenue portion is slightly higher in this document that's in the one I had submitted, the first estimate. After reviewing this fall, reviewing the condition of 92nd Street and noticing that it's considerably worse condition than it was when we finished the study, our consultants went back and reviewed and added additional funds to ensure that it's brought up to 100%. So every year it's degrading more and more, and the longer we leave it. So that being said, if, we're hoping not, but if transportation says we're only going to allow one program for 2022, it is our recommendation that we do 92nd Street first. It's the heavier travel road right now, and 114th Avenue has a concrete base, so it's a little bit sounder, it'll last longer. So that's our recommendation. We're hoping to get both funding, or both roads funded under the program. They're well under the limit of the $3 million threshold, so we're going to hope for the best.
And if we don't get it, we're not doing them, right?
Right. Unless we
have a partner.
Unless we find $3 million. So, yeah. So we did, I did put within the report or the RFD that the potential is we would look at a debenture for our portion of that. And again, this is at, what's shown is if we get the minimum level of funding for both projects. We're hoping to get higher. Again, that potentially could be in next year's budget. We don't see any announcement until April or May at the earliest. So.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay.
whose Rising report was this?
There was no rising
wasn't
report.
there? I
It
thought
was
you
it was a discussion item
Okay.
only on council as a briefing.
Who's going to approve the application or move to approve?
I'll do it.
Okay, Councillor Anderson, all in favor?
In favor.
Carried. So the next one is strategic plan. This is for council. Were you at that meeting? Were you at the strategic plan with,
Doug Griffiths?
yeah, okay. So I put this on our agenda because I really think we need to redefine our vision and our action plan for the next 4 years. And we need to prioritize our goals and our initiatives and our department resources. So I discussed this with the CAO, and I know he's expensive, but I think it'll probably be the best $10,000 we've spent in ages if we hire Doug Griffiths to do this. And I'm just wondering what council thinks of that.
I thought she was giving you $10,000.
I can't hear a thing you're saying.
She thought you were giving me a bonus to do the strategic plan.
No, I think an outside facilitator is
I
most
agree.
important. And I think this will do nothing but improve our vision of where we're going in the next 4 years and what we want to accomplish, so we don't go squirrel and off on some other topic. So, council?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
also on this topic, perhaps more of us could work towards achieving the EOEP 7-course certificate, which is a recognized certificate now, but there's a council's role in strategic planning course as well, which I think would be interesting. I know maybe some of us have taken it already, I'm not sure, but I would be interested in taking that if we're going to.
But we're still not facilitators.
Right.
So my question.
Just to avoid the deer in the headlights, look, when the facilitator is here, so.
So my question to council is, like, if we're going to do this, we need to do it quickly because strategic plans usually precede the budget. I know we're doing a budget this weekend, but it's not a finalized budget. It will be a discussion with budget. So what's council thinking? Yes.
Madam Mayor, sorry.
Deputy Mayor?
But at this point, don't we need to know what his schedule, his actual cost?
Yes, and that's why, well, he's at least $10,000.
Okay, but if he's not available till spring.
Well, then I have 2 other people in mind. That I'm gonna give to administration to look at.
Madam Mayor.
Councillor Welke had a question. Yes.
Oh, Madam Mayor, I was just curious, could you give a quick recap? What's the current state of our strategic plan?
Well, we kind of follow our municipal plan, but in the last 4 years, we haven't changed our vision or our goals. And at looking at our vision, it's a pretty long vision, so.
Was that the community sustainability report we had from a while? Okay. So definitely a need. I'm in favor of pursuing this.
Madam Mayor, I was just going to suggest that council pass a motion asking administration to reach out. We can start with Mr. Griffiths with 13 ways and then continue. We've got a couple that we could also look at as well that we've used for other projects. So yeah, I think we've got a number of options here.
They need to be dynamic because it's a 2-day course.
Okay, I'll put that in the RFP. Dynamic.
Yes, bold.
Yeah, so I was thinking probably the first 2 weeks in December or January.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, things are tough, guys, I know, but
Yeah.
we need to get it done.
Madam Mayor, you won't adopt your final budgets until sometime in late March, early April, so that is the time frame you could work with. Or the interim is,
December. I think the earliest we can do it, the better.
fair enough.
You signed up for this, sorry.
No, but we've never had,
You don't get a Christmas vacation this year. What? We've never had what?
ones that I've been involved in the past, there bigger group have been involved in the strategic plan and their input in that, like, so would we gather input from the community on anything like this? Or I've never been involved in a municipal strategic plan, but been involved in our ministry strategic plan.
Well, our municipal plan was, we gathered information from the community,
Right.
but that was a process of about 8 months.
And that's quite old, that document too. isn't
Well, it was supposedly updated. It used to be included in our council reports, but we haven't been including it recently. And like they said, council probably can't recite our vision. I can't because it's like a paragraph long.
But I remember going over that document, and a lot of that's very, very old. I mean, we've got some huge project on the horizon and visions of or hopes and dreams of where we want to go, so that's all.
But council or like community input is yes. Like with Westlock, they sent out a survey with 3 major questions. And that they use that information to guide their, and I mean, we could do the same. I'm sorry, I didn't mean December, but I mean, we need to have it soon.
I totally agree. I've always believed in strategic plan, vision, mission to guide us forward and keep us on track. So I think it's a great idea, but I'm glad to hear you say we don't have to have it. But yeah, time is of the essence, and it would be nice to have done sooner than later. But do it right is the important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And if, like, I can probably send you the questions that Westlock sent. I still have I think I still have the link on my, but I mean, we can come up with our own questions too. But yeah, so if council's in favor, administration to getting it as soon as possible.
I think at the very least.
Not December, I was kidding.
I think at the very least, Madam Mayor, we need an idea of the cost of it for your meeting on the 14th.
Yeah. Is that good, council? Does someone want to make that motion then? Nobody wants to.
I'll make that motion.
Councillor Jessamine. All in favor? Carried.
Favor.
And I think this will be really good for our new councillors as well as our old councillors, because it'll be good because, you know, you're new, it'll set our new goals and fresh direction and.
You also have only 2 members of the senior administration who are involved in the last one.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, and you did not have a strategic vision for the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you very much. We have our correspondence for information. Could I have someone move that for information?
I'll move 15.1 to 15.3 for information.
Councillor Anderson, all in favor?
In favor.
So that ends our public portion of our meeting. I would like to thank you all for attending this evening and have a great rest of your evening.